So has your doctor offered you a steroid shot for your heel pain? Or maybe you're the one that's about to ask for it. You've been dealing with this heel pain for months. Your first steps out of bed feel like somebody's driving a knife into the bottom of your heel. Maybe you're just sick and tired of it. So you want to know if the shot works. Here's the thing. I think that's the wrong question. And once you change the question, the whole decision gets a whole lot simpler. Now, I'm a medical doctor, but I'm not your doctor. This video is for education purposes only. It's not specific medical advice for your particular situation. Hi, I'm Dr. Saller. I'm a board-certified orthopedic surgeon specializing in foot and ankle problems. I see at least 25 to 30 patients with plantar fasciitis in my office every few weeks. But I only perform maybe 1 or 2 plantar fascial steroid injections every few months. So I want to tell you what I actually say to these patients because it might not be what you expect. I tell them the injection is not going to fix their problem. I say it out loud before the needle ever comes out because the cortisone shot does not repair the plantar fascia. It doesn't strengthen it. It doesn't remodel it. What it does is it turns the pain signal down. So the question isn't, does the shot work? The question is, what am I going to do with this window that the shot gives me? So in this video, I'm going to give you 3 things. First, what the research actually shows about how long the relief lasts after a cortisone shot in your plantar fascia. Second, what are the 2 situations where I offer this shot in my clinic in my own words? And third, the one complication I want you to actually be afraid of. And the thing is, it's probably not the one you're thinking of. Let's start with the good news because there is some good news here. In the short term, the shot does do something real. There was a 2018 meta-analysis that reviewed this and looked at corticosteroid injections, and they tended to beat non-invasive treatments for pain in that first 1 to 3 month window. And there's another 2019 randomized trial that compared a single ultrasound-guided steroid injection against foot orthotics, and the injection group was doing better at 4 weeks compared to the orthotics group. Now here's where it gets interesting though. The closer the comparison gets to a true placebo, or basically a fake injection, the smaller the difference gets. A 2019 systemic review pulled together 47 randomized trials and almost 3,000 patients. The corticosteroid injection looked better than some of the other treatments early on, but it was not more effective than placebo injection for pain or for function. Now I got to be careful here because this is where a lot of people can either overstate or understate this research in both directions. So it doesn't really mean that your pain relief was fake. Your relief was real. What it means is that a good chunk of the benefit may not actually be coming from the steroid itself. It's coming from the needle. It's coming from your expectation that this is going to help. And it also can come from the plantar fasciitis slowly getting better on its own, which often happens. So what happens after the first few months? In the orthotics trial, the 4-week advantage didn't hold up when they tested further out. By 12 weeks, the orthotics group was ahead of the steroid group in terms of function and pain relief. In a 2023 trial out of Denmark, they tested this directly. They looked at 180 patients. One group got some basic advice and a heel cup. The other group, they added heavy slow resistance exercises on top of that. And the third group added exercises plus the corticosteroid injection. At 12 weeks, the injection group was doing a little bit better on paper, but there wasn't enough difference that the patients would necessarily feel the difference. The difference was very small and not clinically relevant. That's the pattern that shows up over and over when we look at the studies. You get an early bump. That's pretty significant. Then everybody catches up. By 3 months, the people in the exercise group doing the loading work, the strengthening, are doing at least as well or a lot of times better. So let's get practical. There's two situations in my clinic where I offer a corticosteroid injection. And in both of these scenarios, the shot is doing the same job. The first one is a patient who's been at this for more than 6 months. They've been doing everything right. They're consistent with their exercises. They're working on the stretching. They're working on the strengthening. They're consistent with doing some really good footwear changes, getting wide toe box shoes, getting shoes with some support but not over support. They're still in pain. Here's what's actually happening to that person. It's not just that the bottom of their heel hurts. It's that they've stopped believing they're ever going to get better. When somebody stops believing, they stop doing the exercises. That's the real danger at month 6. Not the pain, it's the quitting all the things that are going to eventually get them better. So here's roughly what I would say to a patient in this scenario in the exam room or the clinic room. I'd say, hey, I know you've been dealing with this for a while. I'm glad you've been consistent with the exercises. I'm sorry you're not getting the relief that I was hoping for at this point. One thing that we can try is a steroid injection. Now I want to be clear. The injection is not going to fix your problem. What it will do is hopefully make you feel better, many times even as quickly as a few days, and it'll let you stay on course with your strengthening and your stretching exercises so you can actually get better long term. Keep doing everything you're doing. This is just going to help you feel good enough so you can stay consistent and stay on track. So that's the talk. The shot is not the treatment. It's what keeps you doing the treatments that are going to get you better. The second situation is a little bit different. This is a person who's been improving, but they're improving slowly and they're certainly not all the way there. And maybe they have a big trip coming up. Maybe they're going to Europe. They're going across the Atlantic. They've been planning this trip for over a year. They're going to spend a lot of money on this trip, and they plan on doing a lot of walking to sightsee or whatever else they're doing on their trip. And they want to enjoy this trip instead of thinking about their heel the entire time or being stuck in their hotel because their heel hurts too bad. So that's a good reason. I have no problem with that at all. This is a short-term solution to a real short-term problem that's important to that person, and everybody understands what it is. So real quick, before I move on, I want to let you know everything I just described depends on you actually having a plan to go back to. So I have a plan in a free guide called Heel Pain to Pain-Free Playbook, and it's the framework that I give my own patients on stretching and strengthening to help get you better. The link's in the description, check it out. So here's the part I really want you to hear. Most people, when they worry about a corticosteroid shot, worry about potentially the side effects or complications. And one thing they may have heard of is rupturing the plantar fascia. Now that's a real risk. The 2023 Heel Pain Practice Guidelines lists it along with other complications such as a post-injection flare-up, even some nerve injuries, and fat pad atrophy. But if I'm going to be honest with you, the rupture isn't the one that scares me the most. If somebody ruptures their plantar fascia, we're going to shut things down for a while. They're going to rest their heel. They're going to go into a walking boot, maybe even crutches for a few weeks. And then we're going to slowly rebuild that stretching and strengthening over time after that plantar fascial rupture is starting to show signs of healing. So the short-term recovery is rough. You definitely don't want to rupture your plantar fascia if you can help it. But a lot of these people long-term do pretty well. In some cases, the rupture actually heals, and once we've rehabbed everything properly, the plantar fasciitis pain is gone. So I don't put that in the same category as something like an Achilles rupture, and there's a reason why we don't do injections in the back of the heel near the Achilles, because that's a little bit different situation. So the complication from a steroid injection that scares me the most is fat pad atrophy. So underneath your heel bone, you have this specialized pad of fat. It's not ordinary fat. It's built in little chambers, and it's your body's built-in shock absorber. Steroid shots, especially if you have a number of them in a short part of time, they can thin this out. And when you thin out the fat pad, you're not getting it back. Now, if you've had one injection or if you've had very infrequent injections, this probably isn't an issue. But I've seen some cases where I've had patients that have had 9 or 10 injections over a span of 3 to 4 months, and they already have fat pad atrophy. Here's the hard part. There's not a whole lot I could do for them. We can still treat the plantar fasciitis, but for the fat pad, all I can really offer is more cushion in their shoe or a gel cup. And this is something that's going to be there for the rest of their life. So one injection in the right situation is a reasonable tool. Injections every few weeks or every few months can be a problem that results in a long-term major issue. So people ask me if I'd get an injection myself. And I gotta be straight with you here. I had plantar fasciitis. I started seeing some mild improvement in just a few weeks after I started doing the exercises. I did have a setback at week 3, but then after about 3 to 4 more weeks after that, I was well on my way to recovery. So my total time with symptoms was about 3 months. So I never got to the place that some of my patients are in. Now, had I gotten there, maybe I would have went to Shockwave first, or PRP. It's minimally invasive and it potentially has some healing potential. But I might have tried a steroid shot as well. So I never got to the place that my patients are in. So I don't want to pretend that I'm tougher than my patients. If I had been dealing with severe pain for 6 straight months and I was doing all the right things and I wasn't getting anywhere, who knows, I might have thought hard about it. So let's bring this back to where we started. Load versus capacity. That's the whole condition in 3 words. Your heel hurts because the load going through the tissue is more than the tissue can currently handle. A cortisone shot turns down the pain signal. It doesn't raise your capacity. It can't. The whole mechanism is decreasing the inflammation component to help decrease the pain. It's not going to regenerate the tissue. The only way that raises the capacity is loading the tissue in a controlled, progressive way over weeks and months. That's slower than a needle, but it's the part that's going to last for the long term. So stop asking whether the shot works. Ask what you're going to do with that window if you decide to get a shot. If the answer is heel raises, footwear changes, and consistent exercises over the next 12 weeks, the shot might be the right call to give you that jump or that bump down in pain to increase your morale to get through all the exercises. Now, if you're getting a shot and you're back in pain in a few months and you're asking for a second one, that may not be the right answer. So check out the playbook in the description if you want the game plan for the exercises. Stay tuned for my next video. I'm going to go through shockwave treatment. It's called extracorporeal shockwave. That's a treatment that I might have reached out for my own foot. I've had it done when I had some shoulder issues. And it's something that not a lot of people understand exactly what it does. And it's an interesting technology that certainly can be helpful for some people where the exercises and footwear changes aren't quite enough.